Hey guys, ethaneigenfeldt here, and today we are going to be talking about cliches. Now, if you do not know what a cliche is, that is completely fine. It's basically an unoriginal idea, concept, story that is extremely overused. So we see a lot of this in Hollywood. An example I can think of right now is, like, it was the twin sister. I've never actually seen that, but, like, the twin sister killed the husband, you know? We see a lot of this in Hollywood, and that's actually what we're going to be talking about is films. Because I'm a filmmaker, hopefully you are too, or hopefully you want to start making films. So, who am I? What makes me qualified to actually tell you this? Like, who the fuck am I? My name is Ethan Eigenfeld. I am an 18-year-old filmmaker from Vancouver, Canada. There's a picture of me accepting an award. By the way, I do not believe in the award system because there have been quite a few awards that I did not believe that I actually deserved to win, and there've been a few awards that I felt I should have won and I didn't. So, awards aside, I feel that I'm a passionate, driven, hardworking guy, and I would much rather learn from that guy than the guy accepting an award that he didn't deserve, right? So, let's get right into it. I am new at this, keep that in mind, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, if that makes sense. So, 90% of cliches fail, and this is because it's a predictable plot and story, right? So if audiences experience a story or plot over and over and over and over again, it's predictable and it's boring, okay? It's like you don't watch a movie the same day over and over again because it's boring. You know what's going to happen, and that's what a cliche is. If these movies follow this formula of having a character get kidnapped and then the action hero save him through explosions and car scenes, and it's terrible, right? You can argue, if you're seeing these plots over and over again and you're bored, well, you can argue something a real life situation. Let me give you an example. So let's say we're at a high school and a fight breaks out every single week. It's super exciting. Everyone gathers around to see this fight. Now, you could argue that, Ethan, that's not going to be boring. If it's every week, fights are super exciting, right? It's every week, I'm going to watch it every week. Now, that might be true. You might come every week to watch the fists being thrown, right? But after you're there, you're going to talk to the person next to you, and you're going to ask, why are these people fighting? That's what's going to draw you in. The story behind these two, what led them to that situation of them actually fighting, right? It's the story that draws people in. And with Hollywood now, all the stories of why these two characters are fighting are the exact same. It's a cliche that we've come accustomed to just tune out. Okay? I have an example here, actually. So, the Taken series, in the first movie, basically, Liam Neeson's daughter, I believe, is taken by terrorists, and Liam Neeson is like a trained CIA agent or something like that. And it's realistic. It's literally just a dad trying to get his daughter back, and he's utilizing the skills that he's learned at his job. He is not exploding cars or getting on choppers with machine guns. He's using tactics that are believable, and it's exciting, right? By the third Taken movie, he's like a fucking god. Nothing can stop him. He is invincible, and, like, who's being taken at this point? The fact that they've made 3 movies is a cliche because that they've made 2 other movies on the exact same concept, right? It's boring because one, Liam Neeson won't die. He'll probably get his daughter back or whoever's taken in this movie, and it's honestly, it's shit, guys. It's so bad. So some quotes I have here, one's by myself. Predictability ruins suspense and thus ruins story. You always want to keep your audience on edge. I literally just made that while making the script for this video. And then another quote I gathered here is, in fiction, we find the predictable boring. In real life, we find the unpredictable terrifying. Which is super true, guys. Like I've been saying, predictability in story sucks. In real life, obviously, unpredictability is terrifying because it's real life events, like you don't know what's going to happen to yourself, right? So they say that there are no new stories. There are only old stories told in new ways. And this is completely true, guys. You cannot go so far off the spectrum to create this mastermind story. Every story follows roughly the same concept, but it's only a question of how far off from the center line of the cliche that you can get, right? How far off into that unique story can you get? You can't get to the top or the bottom or the right, like the top left, the top right. You have to stay on that spectrum. It's like with color. There's only a certain amount of colors that we can see. Past that, we can't see it. It's like the same thing with story. We can't create these other stories because they've already been told. We just create them in new ways. We just tell them in different ways. So, rant over. The rant about cliches is over, guys. I am sorry, but that's my 2 cents on cliches. Now, there's actually a very good way you can work with cliches. And this is actually a hilarious picture. How to make them sit on the edge of their seat. How do you make an audience member sit at the edge of their seat when working with cliches? Because like I said, if you have a cliche, they're not going to be sitting at the edge of their seat. They know what's going to happen. There is one simple trick that you can do to make cliches effective. Make your audience sit at the edge of their seat. Now, if you want this trick, simply buy my ebook for $50. No, I'm kidding. So, what you want to do is you want to set up that cliche to the pivotal point of the cliche and then destroy it right in front of them. They will be expecting that to happen, and then you just destroy it right in front of them. And what that causes them to do is just not trust you as a filmmaker. They will not trust this story because their idea or their concept of what was just about to happen was just destroyed in front of them. They can't trust you, so they're going to be sitting at the edge of their seat wondering what else they can't trust. So, I've made an example film here, 1 minute. Take a look, tell me what you think, and then get back to me. So obviously with a little more time and effort, that could have come out a lot more effectively. That was literally thrown together in like 10, 20 minutes. But the point is to just destroy their notion of expectation, right? You want to set up cliches and break them. So the point with that film was that when she opened the window, or opened the mirror, sorry, and then she closed it, you expected someone to be behind her when the lights died and a flashlight was shining around the room. you expected someone to be in the light or behind her in the shadows, and then finally when she ducked under her bed and then came back up, you either expected someone to be under the bed or over her shoulder. But there wasn't. Now, this works extremely well with horror because you are drawing out suspense. You're not relieving that tension that you are building in that scene. You're not letting the audience go saying, this is where our guy is. And they already know where the guy is, or they think they know where the bad guy is. But you're saying, no, he's not there. This is a different kind of story. You're breaking that cliche. Now, you can work this with every genre. So, comedy is already doing this. That's what comedy is. They are setting up a joke and they're completely going off of it to make something hilarious. That's what comedy is. It's just random, out of the blue. It's destroying your expectation of what you actually think. That's what a joke is, guys. That is what a joke is. So, comedy does this extremely well. Horror will draw out suspense, and you can do this with any type of genre super effectively. And each genre obviously has its own effects on what it does. So 90% of times, guys, just avoid cliches altogether, and then the other 10% of it, just flip it on its head. If you have the opportunity to have a cliche in your film, you can't get rid of it, just try and flip it on its head so the audience will be expecting the cliche to happen, but it doesn't. Okay, so now my own Remembrance Day film was actually a cliche, but it had a special trait to it that completely switched the idea around. So if you haven't actually seen this film, I would highly recommend just going off this video, watching it, and coming back here. It will make a lot more sense. So the cliche of the film was basically this homeless war veteran asking for money, saving up money to buy flowers for his dead friend in the cemetery. Kind of a cliche in itself, right? Kind of this cutesy story going on. However, I wasn't even going to make this film to begin with until until one of my friends recommended this concept to me that completely flipped around this cliche. So, in the first scene, we're introduced to this army vet who has his leg shot out, and then the next scene directly after it, we see a war vet, a homeless dude, in a wheelchair. So we're led to believe that these two characters are the same person throughout the entire film. However, it is only revealed in the climax that these are actually two different war vets experiencing the same problem. Now, we didn't just make this plot twist to just spook the audience, make them go, wow. The intention of it was to break that cliche and to drive home our theme of the story, which was no generation of war should be forgotten. They're both going through the same problems. They should both be dealt with the same way. The same treatment should be given to both of them. They both need help, right? So that was a way we kind of broke the cliche, and we kind of put our own little twist on it. So to sum up, just avoid cliches at all costs unless you can flip them on their head to surprise your audience and enhance the theme. The theme, guys, is super important. Remember, everything with film revolves around story and theme. All stories have themes, so I guess story's the biggest, and then theme's just under that. Always make the little key tidbit, guys, always make your films around theme. Create a theme, make a film around that. Okay? Do not think of cool scenes or shots and make a film around that. Don't think like a cool shower scene where someone gets stabbed would be awesome. What would happen before and after that? Do not do that. Okay? That's going to lead to failure. You want to make a theme that is interesting to you, something that you are passionate about, and then build a story around that, okay? Please do not click away from this video. Just tell me how I did, because this was my first attempt at this. I highly recommend you tell me how you think I did, because I can improve these videos a lot, guys. And honestly, I accept all comments. I appreciate hate comments more than positive comments, guys. The reason for that is that if someone hates me, if someone disliked the video, that is for a reason that I should change. It's a lot more helpful than someone just telling me, good job, love the content. That's not helpful, even though I appreciate the positive enthusiasm, guys. Just if you did not like the video, please tell me, and I will work on it. Early in February, I'm going to be releasing a video called, what was it called? How to Become an Award-Winning Filmmaker in 48 Hours with no experience at all. So look for that video. It's going to be an exciting one because it's actually like a live kind of seminar conference that I'm presenting. But yes, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later. Thank you.